Uzumaki Naruto, 12 years old, genin of Team 7 under Jonin Hatake Kakashi. A redhead boy, with cerulean blue eyes, 3 whisker-like marks on each cheek, wearing a hideous orange jumpsuit. Don't say that to his face, though, and the Kanahigaku forehead protector around his forehead. Well, that is how he usually appears. Now, he was in his pajamas, wearing a monster cap on his head, hiding his shaggy red hair. He was lying on his bed, twisting and turning, unable to get to sleep. This was unusual for the preteen genin, for he could always go to sleep after he throws his carcass on his bed. Naruto frowned, annoyed by the lack of sleep he was getting, not that he had anything to do tomorrow. Kakashi doesn't really train them in anything and they only go over to the old man's office to pick up a chore, a D-rank mission to do. It was a far cry from the exciting, yet terrifying, C-rank mission that they had returned from about a week ago. Thinking about Haku still made him a bit sad, but he didn't want to dwell on it. Sighing, he got up. Well, if he's unable to go to sleep, might as well have a bowl of the food of the gods. Naruto made to get out of bed, before pausing. Then he grinned and made the hand sign. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, he said, putting in the chakra to make one clone. However, he blinked when instead of 1, 8 clones showed up. The clones looked just as confused as he did. Wait, hold on, I thought I put in chakra for only 1, Naruto said, frowning. The clones shrugged, and one of them said, Well, boss, we only have the same ideas that you do, but it's probably 'cause, as Kakashi-sensei said, our chakra control is garbage, he said nonchalantly. Naruto grumbled. Yeah, I know, but he didn't have to put it that way, he said before sighing. Well, whatever, one of you can get me ramen from the cupboard, the rest, well, I guess you can do whatever you want, Naruto said, waving his hand dismissively. One of the clones shrugged and went over to the cupboard to make some ramen, while the other 7 clones decided to amuse themselves with whatever. 2 clones went outside through the window while the others simply made a pop noise and vanished from existence. The clone that went to make ramen came by to Naruto and handed the bowl and popped. Naruto began to eagerly gorge himself with the food of the gods. He had no idea where the other 2 clones went, or what they were doing, but he didn't care. They were clones and they didn't really have any sense of self-preservation. Naruto suddenly paused and screamed when he felt himself fall to the floor of the ground and a phantom pain spread through his stomach before it disappeared in an instant. He blinked, his eyes wide, at his stomach, and for a few horrible seconds he thought it was because of the Kyuubi, but soon realized that it had nothing to do with the Kyuubi as it felt like somebody had stabbed him. But how? His window opened and Naruto went into alert mode and got into a defensive stance. But as it turns out, it was just his clone, one of the 2 that had left the building. The clone looked startled at Naruto's posture, and Naruto relaxed and sighed. What happened to the other one? Naruto asked, raising an eyebrow. The clone rubbed his red hair and grinned sheepishly. Sorry boss, you just said that we can do whatever we wanted to, so me and the other me played who can pop the other the first, and I won, so the other one is gone, databao, the clone informed Naruto. Naruto blinked, remembering the strange sensation of being stabbed, probably with a kunai. Naruto looked at the clone again. Was it a kunai? He asked. What did you hit the other one with? A kunai? Naruto asked impatiently. The clone nodded. Yeah. I popped him with a kunai, why? Naruto shook his head, a grin forming on his face as he came to the startling revelation. His clones transferred their memories to him. Oh, holy ramen gods! This was simply amazing. He could do so many things with this jutsu. It was simply amazing. Naruto grinned at the clone. Hey, I got an idea, go to our training ground and dispel yourself, he said. The clone blinked then shrugged. Sure, whatever, databao, he said and ran off to training ground 7. Naruto waited for a few minutes while eating his ramen and the memories from the clones came back to him. The training ground was empty, filled with crickets, lizards, and other such creatures. Naruto was bouncing on his feet and grinned widely. He made the hand sign and made 10 clones, only to form 21. Naruto shrugged, whatever? The more the merrier. He looked at the clones. Okay guys, I want you to test something for me. 11 of you, go and work on tree climbing in one of the training grounds. The other 10, grab the books that we have and get to reading. Naruto ordered. He had to know if he could also do training like the chakra control exercises like tree climbing. Even if that didn't work, he could read those damn books without having to read them himself. The clones saluted. Boss! They immediately got to work. 11 of them exited the house through the window, and 10 of them got their books that had gathered actual dust. Naruto grinned and decided to join the 11 to the training ground they were heading towards, leaving the 10 to do the reading. Naruto decided that even if the 11 clones didn't transfer the results of the exercise to him, he could do the exercise himself. Obviously, it wouldn't be the same as 11 of him doing it, but it was something. He didn't want to go to sleep peacefully while his clones do all the work. Naruto pulled out a kunai and began working on the tree climbing exercise while his 11 clones began to work on the same exercise on the trees nearby. He grinned and began to do the exercise over and over again. It was easy enough now, he could stick to the tree without exploding the tree or slipping off. Actually, the exploding tree part was something he wanted to try on other surfaces. He sent one of the clones that were doing the exercise over to a nearby wall to try it out. The clone slipped. Climbing the wall was not as easy as climbing a tree, it seemed. Naruto climbed the wall, normally, without chakra, and looked on the other side to make sure that it wasn't some residential area. It wasn't. It was just a wall built to separate one training ground from another. The wall was also really thick, meaning that it wasn't easy to break it down, not that he wanted to. Honest. Naruto decided to climb the wall using chakra instead. This wall climbing exercise was harder, and Naruto had no idea why. He had seen Kakashi and Zabuza walk on the water, so he realized that it was another kind of chakra control exercise. He quickly made another 20 clones, only for 32 clones to pop out. Naruto groaned but worked on climbing the wall anyway. After about 3 hours, he was lying down on the floor, panting heavily. He idly wondered if the clones' exhaustion would transfer over to him if he dispelled them. He waited for 10 minutes, and then dispelled them. Naruto nearly screamed at the momentary pain in his brain and muscles, but then the pain went away as soon as it came by. He blinked a few times and decided to try the wall, which had a lot of cracks and holes in it, but nothing serious, climbing once again. Naruto walked over to the wall and placed his right foot on the wall, and used his chakra to stick to it, and then the other, then the other. Holy shit! It works! He could actually use clones for training. He grinned and laughed ecstatically, then got down the wall and fell over, tired and knocked out. Rudobaka! Naruto Baka, wake up! Naruto heard a feminine voice screeching at him. Damn, look at the wall, Shikamaru! Troublesome. Naruto Baka, wake up now! Naruto's eyes snapped open as a slap rattled his brain, and he sat up so quickly he was surprised there was no snap in his back. Naruto blinked and rubbed his eyes, then his cheek. He looked over at the blonde girl who he assumed slapped him and scowled. What the hell, Ino? You didn't have to slap me! He shouted, getting up and dusting himself off. He nearly cried when he saw that his beloved orange jumpsuit was almost ruined with tears and such. Yamanaka Ino scoffed. It's your fault for falling asleep. Suits you right, trying to train in our training grounds, she said haughtily. Naruto blinked again, looking over at the pineapple-haired boy and a rather big-boned boy who waved at him. The tall man with a cool beard and a cigarette in his mouth was looking at him, amused. Naruto rubbed the back of his head. Eh? This is your training ground? Sorry, wait, aren't you? Naruto put on a thinking pose, then snapped his fingers. Asuma, right? He said, pointing at the tall jonin. Asuma raised an eyebrow. Yes, he said and appeared as if he was mentally preparing himself for something. Naruto nodded then grinned sheepishly. Again, sorry for sleeping in your training grounds, he said. Shikamaru looked at him. What were you going here anyway, Naruto? The boy asked lazily. Naruto raised an eyebrow. Gee, I wonder, Shikamaru, what does one do in a training ground? He said sarcastically. I was training, duh, he said. During the night? Ino asked before smirking. Figures you need to work that hard to be half the shinobi that Sasuke-kun is, she said, looking at him as if she was superior to him. Naruto glared at her. Yeah, at least I'll be half of the shinobi he is. You won't even be a tenth of the shinobi I am, Naruto said, grinding cockily and before she could explode. Bye guys, he said, laughing, and sprinting away from them towards his house. Kakashi wouldn't be there for at least 2 hours, so he could at least shower and eat some ramen before meeting his own team. Naruto entered his home and found his clones still reading. The clones haven't run out of chakra yet. He made a half-ram sign and dispelled all of them. His head hurt for a split second before it went away. Naruto searched his brain for all of the memories from the clones and, oh my! He could already remember the crap history lessons and the small amount of chakra control exercises. The leaf sticking, leaf spinning, and other exercises involving leaves. He made 20 clones and found out that he had only made about 24 clones. Naruto gaped for a second, before jumping around in joy. His chakra control was improving. Hell yes! Naruto stopped and looked at his amused-looking clones. Alright boys, get to work on these exercises. For per group, each group work on a chakra control exercises. Wall climbing, tree climbing, leaf sticking, leaf spinning, and the other ones we know from those books. "'Kay?" The clones saluted. "Boss!" One clone pointed at him. "Boss, you should probably get some clothes, Databayo. Our badass orange jumpsuit is a bit too torn." Naruto shrugged. "Yeah, I know. Get to work, I'll buy some clothes today," Naruto said, staring at his battered orange jumpsuit a bit emotionally. He showered, ate some food of the gods, and unzipped the jacket of his jumpsuit, showing off his black t-shirt. He decided to buy some clothes that were orange later on. He was already an hour late for the team meeting, though he knew that Kakashi would arrive at least an hour from now. Naruto walked over to the training ground 7, ignoring the glares and mutterings of the people, as he had learned to do so years ago. He untied his forehead protector and instead tied it loosely around his neck, letting his bangs fall on his forehead. Like that girl, Hinata. He made it to the training ground only to be shouted at. "Naruto, you're late!" Naruto winced at the sound and wondered if this is how people felt when he yelled all the time. At least he had a reason for it. Despite his inward thoughts, he smiled sheepishly. Sorry, I walked under a ladder so I had to walk back home and take a long way around to avoid it," Naruto said, enjoying the look of anger on his two teammates. Sakura gaped at him for a few seconds before pulling her fist back to punch him. "Baka!" Naruto yelped and ducked. Sakura gaped at him again. Why you avoided it?" Naruto blinked. Yeah?" he said, rubbing the back of his neck. "Why would I want to be hit?" he said, smiling innocently. Sakura gritted her teeth. "Baka! Why were you late?" she screeched. Sasuke winced and glared daggers at the pink-haired girl. Naruto smiled sheepishly again. "Again, sorry, I was training and fell asleep," he said honestly this time. Sasuke's eyebrow rose. You were training, dope?" he asked. His tone was almost mocking. Naruto could tell that he meant no harm with his words. So Naruto glared back at him good-naturedly. "Yeah, no shit, team. You're not the only one who trains," he said, pointing at his battered outfit. "See?" Sakura tried to punch him again. "Baka, don't talk like that to Sasuke-kun," she said, and Naruto ducked again and frowned. "Sakura, we were just playing. Calm down," Naruto said, not even noticing that he didn't call her Sakura-chan. Sakura sputtered and looked at Sasuke, who shrugged, and turned to Naruto. "What were you training in? How to be an idiot? Because you don't really need any training in that," he said, smirking at him. Naruto glared at him. "Humph! If you must know, I was doing the tree climbing exercise. Since Kakashi-sensei doesn't train us in anything other than teamwork exercises, I thought, might as well," Naruto said nonchalantly. Sasuke looked confused. "But you already know the exercise," he pointed out. Naruto nodded. "Sure. But it can be better. What if I want to go slow onto the tree? What if I want to stand on the tree? Run up and down on the tree? He said. It was really fun and I think I can do it a bit better than before, Naruto said cheerfully. Sakura looked at Naruto and Sasuke. Wait, you two train even after Kakashi-sensei dismisses us? She asked, feeling a bit left out. Sasuke looked at her as if she was stupid. Yeah, obviously. If we don't train by ourselves, then we will be stuck as we were when we got out of the academy, while the others actually get stronger with non-lazy teachers, Sasuke said. Naruto frowned. Yeah, I don't want to badmouth Kakashi-sensei or anything cause he did put his life on the line for us, but seriously, he only trained us in teamwork exercises and the tree climbing one, he said. He had no idea if the Jonin was just plain lazy, or if he thought if the team couldn't function properly. But seriously, over 2 months and only tree climbing exercise is just ridiculous. Sakura fidgeted. Oh, I see, she said quietly. It was clear to Naruto and probably Sasuke as well that the girl hadn't trained in anything. Naruto refrained from commenting, while Sasuke scoffed. HN. Naruto smiled encouragingly at Sakura. Don't worry, Sakura-chan, I'm sure that Kakashi-sensei will take our training seriously after that mission, he said. Sakura sighed and nodded silently. Naruto sighed inwardly but outwardly. He looked at Sasuke. Yo team, did you know that you could use the same method as the tree climbing to climb walls? Like solid concrete walls? Sasuke looked interested. HN, really? Is it more difficult or easier than the tree climbing? Naruto paused. I think if you know tree climbing, it should be easy. Sakura-chan's chakra control is freaking fantastic, so she could get it on the first try, he said, and they both looked at Sakura, who blushed. Really? You think so? She said. Naruto shrugged. Well, yeah, you got the tree climbing the first try. It took me hours to get tree climbing and hours to get wall climbing, and same with Sasuke team, he said. Sasuke simply grunted while Sakura smiled. Thanks, Naruto. Show me dope, Sasuke said to Naruto, who nodded. Sure, team, the pervert is probably going to be late anyway, the redhead replied. Sakura followed Naruto and Sasuke, who walked over to the wall of the training ground. Naruto made a clone. Well, he tried to. 5 clones came out, which was still better than last night, but still, he only needed 1, so he dispelled the other 4. The Naruto clone walked up the wall. It wasn't as easy as the tree climbing, but it was still doable. Same theory, I think. Just a bit more, what's the word? Controlled? Sakura supplied. Yeah, that, Naruto said, nodding rapidly. It'll take a while though, and try not to destroy the wall. The old man would be pissed, he said. Ignoring his casual addressing of the Hokage, Sasuke turned to Naruto. Where did you train this exercise? I didn't see you in this training ground, he asked, raising an eyebrow. Naruto grinned sheepishly. Well, it was late, so I accidentally went into Team 10's training ground, Databayo, he said, and Sasuke scoffed, muttering dobe, and began working on the exercise. He got pretty far on the first turn. More than Naruto himself, he noted with dismay. Sakura, on the other hand, got it on the first turn. This is easy, Shinaro, she cheered. Naruto grinned and gave her a thumbs up. Good job, Sakura-chan. Try to walk up and down the same way, he shouted so that she could hear. Naruto himself began to work on the exercise. He knew his stamina was amazing, but he wanted his chakra control to be just as awesome, Databayo. Exactly an hour later, Sasuke was panting. Naruto was slightly sweating while Sakura had collapsed when Naruto suggested to run up and down the wall. Suddenly, a pop sound in front of them got their attention. Yo! Kakashi greeted lazily, waiting for the "you're late" screech. When it never came, he blinked and looked at his students. Eh? What happened to you 3? Sasuke scowled and wiped the sweat off his brow. Gee, I wonder what people do in a training ground, he snarked. Naruto felt a sense of déjà vu, but ignored it. Yo, Kakashi-sensei, how's it going? What's got you late today? He asked brightly. Kakashi-I smiled at the red-haired genin. Oh, I went to take a shower but forgot to take off my clothes, so my clothes got wet, so I had to put on a new one. But I didn't have any, so I went to buy a new one. But they didn't have any either, so I went to the other town to buy one," he said. His 3 students simply stared at him, and Naruto said, I'm kinda impressed, Databeo," he admitted. Sakura was still panted while she glared at Kakashi. "Liar!" she screeched, and the other 3 winced. "Yeah, no shit," Naruto muttered, and Sasuke made a sound that could be assumed to be a snort. Kakashi smiled. "Well, anyway, what were you working on, my little ducklings?" he said. Naruto nudged Sasuke. "He's talking to you, duck butt hair," Naruto said, and Kakashi chuckled in amusement, while Sakura bit her lip, trying not to giggle. Sasuke glared at Naruto and scoffed. "Shut up, tomato." A tick appeared on Naruto's forehead. "Team, don't call me that," Naruto shouted. She joked. "So, what can I help you with?" Iruka stopped Naruto from saying anything. "Clothes for him," he said flatly. Naruto pouted. Okay, I get it, you don't understand the awesomeness of orange, but can it be a little orange? Please?" he asked, using his puppy eyes no jutsu on the brown-haired girl. Tenten gulped. "Of course." Iruka rolled his eyes. "Only a little," he said sternly, and Naruto stuck his tongue out at him. Tenten looked over at Naruto. Okay then. "Alright, come on, follow me," she ordered Naruto. Naruto blinked and followed her. She showed several clothes that would suit Naruto. In the end, Naruto decided on a black long-sleeve shirt, black A&BU pants with an orange stripe on the side, a burnt orange vest, black shinobi sandals, with his calves taped up. He taped up his right wrist as well, and a burnt orange Konoha Hittite, which he wore around his neck because it apparently protects the neck, whatever. His hair hung free, with his bangs falling on his forehead. A/N, basically, he's wearing what Minato wears minus the cloak, and replacing the Jonin vest with Gaara's Shippuden vest with a burnt orange coloration. Tenten placed her hands on a pouting Naruto's shoulders. "There, you look much cooler this way," she said brightly. Naruto grudgingly admitted that he did look cool. While the orange color wasn't as bright as he'd like, it was still orange. It looked cool enough, he supposed. Well, he looked a bit depressing, but his hair gave off a cheerful feeling. Naruto paid Tenten from the money he got from the stupid amount of D-rank mission he did with his clones. He was about to leave when something caught his attention. Naruto stopped, and Iruka stopped with him, looking at him, confused. Naruto looked over at a sword, a katana to be exact. He frowned, feeling a kind of draw from the sword. Tenten raised an eyebrow and followed his line of sight to the sword. "Ah, that one. You want to see it?" she asked. Naruto nodded mutely, which surprised Iruka and to a lesser extent, Tenten as well. Shrugging, Tenten pulled down the sword and put it in front of him. Naruto looked at it, and Tenten explained. "It's a katana. It's a unique design that doesn't really seem to get anyone's attention, so we placed it over there. Go on, take it out of its sheath." Naruto took the sword and pulled out the sword. It was a black sword, large and light, and something seemed to click. "I want it," he said simply. Tenten blinked. "You sure, Naruto?" Yeah, I want it." Iruka looked at him strangely, and Tenten looked miffed at being interrupted for a second before shrugging. "Sure." Naruto paid her and strapped the sword to his back. Tenten explained that it is a metal that can conduct chakra, and Naruto grinned in excitement, feeling very happy with the blade. Naruto walked out of the shop along with Iruka, who looked at him. "What happened there, Naruto?" he asked. Naruto smiled at him. "I don't know, Iruka-sensei. I felt like I needed to have it. It was like the sword was calling to me." "The sword feels right," Naruto said. Iruka raised an eyebrow before smiling. "Well, I'm glad you're happy, Naruto. Do you know how to use it? Or anyone who can teach you?" he asked, and smirked at Naruto's downtrodden face. Naruto racked his brain for someone. I'll just ask Gigi Databeo. If Kakashi-sensei doesn't teach me, that is." He added the second sentence after a pause. Iruka blinked. The Hokage is his first choice? Why isn't Kakashi his first choice? He was getting suspicious now. The next day, Naruto woke up at his usual time. He made 20 clones but 25 came out. Naruto didn't care and made them all work on chakra control with the leaf sticking, leaf spinning, tree climbing, wall climbing and such. Naruto had a quick bowl of ramen, strapped his new sword to his back, put on his new clothes and walked lazily to the training ground 7. He had no intention to wait for Kakashi to show up. So he simply sent a Kage Bunshin henged as a regular civilian to the library to look for other ways to improve his chakra control. Naruto didn't like reading, but technically, he wasn't reading anything. It was just his clones. He arrived at the training ground 7 about 15 minutes late, and as expected, Sakura exploded. "Naruto Baka, you're late!" she screeched. Naruto smiled sheepishly, deciding to do the same thing that Kakashi does. "Sorry, I went to water my plants, then realized that I don't have many plants, so I went out and got some plants, but the Yamanaka shop was closed, so I went out of the village to find some plants, but then realized that the ones I found were poisonous, so I went to the hospital and got myself cured," he said, smiling brightly at the two. Sakura worked her jaw for a second, and Sasuke simply glared at him. "Does it really matter if Kakashi-sensei isn't here, though?" Naruto said, walking over to a tree and leaning against it, and relaxing. Sakura growled and walked over to him, before Sasuke said, "Where'd you get that sword, done?" he asked, looking at him and his new attire. Sakura stopped in her tracks and looked at Naruto too. "I found it on my mission to find plants," Naruto said, smirking, and Sasuke glared coldly. "Oh, take a joke, team. I found it in Higurashi." He pulled it out of its sheath and showed it to them. Sasuke looked at the sword and said, "Why?" Naruto shrugged. "Well, you know, it's like, it felt right," he said, shrugging. "Gonna ask Kakashi-sensei if he knows how to use it. If not, I'll ask the Hokage," he said, putting it back into its sheath. Sasuke looked at the sword in the sheath and shrugged, but there was a jealous look in his eyes. The sword was cool. Sakura, of course, took this and Naruto's new look as a way to look cooler than Sasuke and getting her out on a date. "Baka! You wouldn't know how to use it, you should just give it to Sasuke-kun. And what's with the look? You think just because you ditched the orange, you'll look cooler than Sasuke-kun? You'll never be as cool as him. Just give it up," she said, glaring at him. Naruto looked at her with wide eyes, feeling genuinely hurt. Give his sword to Sasuke team. Wouldn't know how to use it? Never be as cool as Sasuke? Did she really think that he did this to impress her? Sure, he did think that she'd be impressed with the sword and did actually hope that she would be impressed, but that wasn't his goal. He tried to hide the tears when she punched him. "Stupid Baka, trying to be cooler than Sasuke-kun," she grumbled and then said, "That sword too. That attitude. Come on, Naruto Baka, give that sword dash." Naruto's had enough. Even he had a limit with Sakura. He had been nothing but nice to her. Even when she tried to punch him yesterday, he encouraged her and told her that they'd get stronger together. She hit him all the time, sure, him pestering her all the time probably annoyed her, but there was no reason to hit him the other times. He was starting to wonder why the hell he even liked her. "Believe it or not, Sakura, my world doesn't revolve around you," Naruto said, glaring coldly at her. "I didn't buy this sword because of you, and I didn't buy these clothes to look cool as you said. I bought them because my old clothes were ruined. I don't give a flying fuck if you don't find me cool. Give the sword to Sasuke-kun," he mocked in a high-pitched voice, making her flinch. "You know, I don't like Sasuke, but I respect him. He's cool, sure, but he's also strong. Unlike you. We did something in the wave, what did you do?" he asked, and she simply looked at him with wide eyes. "I was nice to you, Sakura, at all times. No matter what you did, no matter what you said, hell, I even encouraged you yesterday and taught you wall walking," Naruto said softly, before he glared at her again. "No more. If you hit me, I will hit you back. You're a kunoichi, you can take it," Naruto said, storming off to another tree and sitting down. Throughout this entire conversation, Sasuke said nothing. He didn't want to say anything. In fact, he even agreed with the doe. He was right. While he didn't much care that the girl hit Naruto all the time with little reason, he did care that she does literally nothing and keeps pestering him all the time. He simply grunted and looked away when the girl looked at him as if expecting him to defend her. Sakura looked down, eyes swimming with tears, and for once, her inner Sakura was silent as she felt like she lost something precious. They sat in uncomfortable silence while Naruto ignored Sakura and Sasuke ignored them both. Thankfully, Kakashi arrived. "Yo!" he greeted cheerfully. Naruto looked at him and said, "Yo, Ero-sensei," he said lazily. Kakashi was a bit put out with the nickname, but then noted Naruto's change in clothes. You got rid of the horror, Naruto?" he asked. Naruto deadpanned. "Yeah, clothes tend to be binned when they are destroyed, Ero-sensei," he said sarcastically. Kakashi blinked at the sword. "And the sword? I bought it. You like?" "Sure," Kakashi answered easily. "You know how to use it?" Naruto gave him a look as if saying, "What do you think?" and Kakashi smiled. Well, I'm sure I can help you out later. I think you all are ready for some hell today," he said, grinning evilly. "Wait, you're actually going to train us?" Sasuke asked surprisingly. Kakashi nodded, remembering that the Hokage threatened to take him away from his precious books if he didn't train his team as he's supposed to. Kakashi then said, "All right, stand shoulder to shoulder, and we'll begin," he said, grinning evilly. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura stood side by side, each of them feeling varying levels of excitement. "All right, first, Sakura." The pinkette looked up. "You will be training up your stamina and building up your chakra reserves." Kakashi made a Kage Bunshin. "My clone will teach you how to do that, so follow it." Sakura nodded and followed after the clone. "Sasuke," the boy grunted. "You will need to build up your stamina and speed." Kakashi made another clone. "Follow my clone," he simply said. Sasuke nodded and followed the clone. "As for you, Naruto," Kakashi said, and Naruto gulped at the man's tone. "Your taijutsu is garbage. Your control must have gotten better after your wall-walking sessions, and your genjutsu is non-existent." Naruto had a storm cloud over his head, and Kakashi ignored this. "I've heard that you know about Kage Bunshin's secret." He waited for the redhead to nod, and continued, "I want you to make 10 clones who will practice various taijutsu styles and will work out which one works best for you," he said. "Let's begin," Kakashi finished cheerfully. For some reason, Naruto felt a bit of dread as a shiver went down his spine as he swore that Kakashi's lone visible eye turned a demonic red as he grinned at him. Chapter 3. It took Naruto a few seconds to realize that Sakura looked ready to fall over. To be honest, Naruto himself was very tired, and comparing Naruto's stamina to Sakura's is like comparing a fish to a whale. Sasuke looked ready to keel over right there, but he looked genuinely happy that Sakura was too tired to ask him out on a date. Naruto panted as he smirked at Sasuke. "It's about time Ero-sensei trained us seriously, team?" Naruto said. Sasuke grunted, seemingly in agreement. Kakashi was reading his smut as he said, Naruto, must you keep calling me by that name?" he asked, his voice nonchalant. Naruto shrugged. "Yeah," he answered simply. Kakashi had made him look at least 15 different taijutsu styles and made him find one that suits him the best. In the end, the Roaring Whirlpool style, a style dependent on using unpredictable hits to the opponent's joints with weaker strikes first before using stronger hits after they had been weakened to finish them off. It was actually dependent on other factors such as Suetun jutsus and making sure that your hits were unpredictable. The latter was easy enough for him, but the first was a bit more difficult cause, he had Enno's Sutun Justice. Naruto realized that Kakashi wouldn't teach him any jutsus anytime soon. But that was alright as long as he teaches him and his teammates seriously. He hadn't learned any kind of kenjutsu, but Kakashi had promised to send someone to teach him. Naruto didn't like the look in the visible eye of the Jonin. "That's it for today, unless you want to do some D-ranks?" Kakashi asked, and Naruto could feel the grin in the man's tone. "What? Are you crazy?" Sakura screeched. "I am covered in dirt and mud. I don't want anything more to do." Kakashi rubbed his ear with his pinky. Hee hee. Ma, you didn't have to screech. What about you two? He asked, looking at Naruto and Sasuke. Naruto glared sullenly at the man. No, Kakashi-sensei, dear God, I'm tired and I'm me, he said. Sasuke simply grunted once again. Kakashi shrugged. All right, tomorrow at 8 again. Ja-ne, he said, vanishing in a shunshin. Sakura was too tired to ask Sasuke out on a date, and so she was preparing herself to scream out a no at Naruto, but the redhead simply waved at the two and said, Well, later, Sasuke, Sakura, he said, walking away from them. It took Sakura a few seconds to realize that the redhead hadn't called her Sakura-chan, nor did he ask her out on an annoying date. She simply blinked dumbly at Naruto's retreating figure, and a feeling of guilt and sadness overcame her as she realized what she had said earlier that day before Kakashi arrived. Naruto himself realized that he hadn't asked his crush out on a date, but honestly, after what she had said today, he didn't really feel like it. Maybe it was about time he moved on from her, knowing that she wouldn't give him the time of the day anyway. He remembered how he had always tried to be nice to her, to be friendly to her even if she was mean to him in return. Sure, he liked the girl, he thought she was pretty, but he could only take so much. Heck, he hadn't even asked her out on a date in days, Databeo. Naruto just realized that. He had been so busy with Kage Bunshin training and other forms of training to even remember that. Was it superficial? He knew that Sakura only liked Sasuke because she thought he was hot, which does make sense considering that he is from a fire clan. But seriously though, yes, Naruto, as much as he hated to admit it, knew that the boy was handsome. Naruto didn't know if he himself was attractive, but the orange jumpsuit probably put off any girl who liked him anyway. So it was pretty easy to detect that Sakura's obsession with Sasuke was superficial. So it's likely that his own crush on the girl was superficial. She was cute and pretty, but other than that, her personality could use some tinkering. He felt stupid for chasing after a girl who has such a horrible personality. From now onwards, I'll try to look for a girl who is attractive in personality. If she's attractive physically too, then that's just a plus. Naruto thought to himself and smiled, feeling a weight lift off his shoulders. Yes, it was probably for the best. Speaking of shadow clones. Oh, right. He muttered and made a half-ram hand sign, dispelling the rest of the clones that he had ordered to work on chakra control back at his place. Naruto remembered what Iruka-sensei had told him yesterday, and dispelled the clones in groups of 2 and waited a minute in between. Eventually, after getting all of the clones to dispel, Naruto's legs felt wobbly and he felt truly exhausted, something that only occurred a few times in his life. It was too early to go to bed, so he decided to go have a bowl of ramen or 9. He reached Ichiraku's and found Team 10 just outside the shop, looking like they were about to go in. He could see Chuji nearly drooling, Shikamaru looking lazy as usual, and Ino who was looking around for someone suspiciously. Naruto decided to greet them anyway. Yo! Naruto said lazily. He knew that Kakashi was rubbing off on him, but he was too tired to care. Ino seemed to groan at the sound of his voice. Ugh, I told you the Baka would be here, Chuji, but no. You had a craving for ramen today, Ino said bossily at Chuji, who frowned. She turned to Naruto and sniffed, looking at his attire. Trying to be as cool as Sasuke-kun again, Naruto Baka? I don't suppose you'll go find somewhere else to fill that black hole of yours? She asked mockingly. Naruto gritted his teeth. Yeah, right. Like I'd listen to someone like you, Naruto snapped. And in case it missed your team-obsessed head, my clothes were ripped because I trained myself into the ground, while you continued to starve yourself into a stick so that Mr. Gloom and Doom would notice, he said angrily. Ino simply gaped at him, with no sound exiting the loudspeaker she called a mouth, and Naruto huffed. Yo Shikamaru, Chuji. How are things? He asked the 2 other members of Team 10, completely ignoring the blonde who looked angry if her face flushing was any indication. Shikamaru looked at him, before looking over at his attire, then at his sword. Troublesome. Hey Naruto, he said, nodding at him. Chuji waved cheerfully. Naruto was about to speak, before blinking as his hand came up instinctively to catch the punch aimed at his jaw. Chuji gaped at him as Shikamaru had a calculating look on his face, which was also mixed with surprise and annoyance at the one who threw the punch. Naruto was very surprised. Kakashi had trained him into the ground, but one of the main aspects of his training was dodging. The man had tossed kunai and shuriken at the blonde who had to dodge. Thankfully, the weapons were made of rubber, so his clothes were still fine, but damn it, Kakashi was strong and he threw with a lot of force. Anyway, Naruto decided that he had been pushed around enough by bossy people in his life. So he turned to Ino, whose jaw had dropped. "That wasn't nice," he said. His voice was cold and made Ino flinch. Ino looked shocked, and Naruto let go of her fist. Finally she spoke. "Why, you caught it," she said, looking shocked. "You don't say?" Naruto said sarcastically. Damn, Kakashi is really rubbing off on him. "How?" she asked, looking incredulous. "You've never dodged mine or Sakura's punches before." Naruto frowned, thinking back. Yeah, he never has he? Well, it's about time he started doing that. Sakura was his teammate, but she wasn't getting away with hitting him for no reason either. Ino? Ino was nobody to him. Sure, she's a fellow leaf ninja and therefore a comrade, but that's about it. She was a bully with an awful personality, just like Sakura. Naruto glared at her. "I don't take shit from anyone, Dali. I don't care if you're you or the Hokage. You're nothing but a bully," Naruto said, before angrily storming into the ramen shop and sat at his usual seat. Chuji and Shikamaru joined in soon, and Ino sat away from him, not looking at him. Naruto sat there, steaming angrily at the blonde's words. What did she know anyway? He shouldn't let her get to him. "The usual, I am Ne-chan," Naruto said, and the girl grinned at him. All of his anger was forgotten as his favorite miso ramen was placed in front of him. He quickly began to devour bowl after bowl. "Another!" Naruto said cheerfully and noted that Chuji had said the same thing. The other boy narrowed his eyes. "2 bowls, please. 5 bowls, I am Ne. 10 bowls. 20. Naruto and Chuji glared at each other before grinning and pointing at each other dramatically. "I challenge you to a ramen eating contest," they both said at the same time before saying, "I accept." Shikamaru looked torn between amusement, exasperation, and disgust as the big-boned Akimichi and the Uzumaki devoured bowl after bowl after bowl of ramen. Seriously, where does it all go? Chuji he could get, but Naruto eating so much fat and sodium yet remaining in the relative shape he is right now is pretty impressive. Now that Shikamaru thought about it, the redhead never really ate anything other than ramen, and unless the boy could cook, he had to be eating ramen all the time because he never saw Naruto in any other restaurant. Despite the training Naruto possibly did, there is no way his body could process so much fat and sodium and be in such a good condition as it is. Troublesome, there is more to the redhead than meets the eye, that's for sure. "So, what's with the sword, Naruto?" Chuji asked, patting his now filled belly. It had been a tie in the end, with both of them devouring about 24 bowls of ramen each. Naruto looked over lazily. "Oh, this? I bought this today at Higarashi's. A good thing too. Kakashi-sensei said that I'm more suited to kenjutsu and ninjutsu." Naruto replied, unstrapping the sword with its sheath and looking at it with a small smile on his face. Shikamaru raised an eyebrow. "And the change of clothes?" he asked. "My old ones got ruined in training, as I'm sure you noticed," Naruto answered. "So Iruka-sensei and I went to get myself some new ones. It's better, yeah?" Shikamaru scoffed. "Going naked is better than that monstrosity," he replied flatly, and Naruto's sweat dropped. "It wasn't that bad," he said weakly, and Shikamaru gave him a deadpan stare, and he deflated. "Dick, how's Sasuke-kun's training going? Bet he's much stronger than you," Ino said rudely. Naruto shrugged. "I don't know how Sasuke's training's going. Other than teamwork exercises, Kakashi-sensei trains us all individually. That is, he started doing that today," he added internally. "I'm sure the dude's going fine. But if you want to know how his training is going, you gotta ask him. Good luck," he added, smirking, knowing that Sasuke would rather hug Naruto than talk to one of his fangirls. Ino glared at him. And how is your training going, Baka? Naruto grinned. I didn't know you cared so much, Ino-chan, he said mockingly. Chuji chuckled and Shikamaru snorted as Ino went red in the face and went to hit him again, and once again, Naruto dodged and she nearly hit Shikamaru, who flinched. Troublesome blondes and redheads. The Nara muttered under his breath and Naruto shrugged. Sorry, Shikamaru, but I ain't getting hit if I can help it, Naruto said before getting up. Alright, later you all, he said, ignoring Ino's outraged look. 2 days later, Naruto lazily made his way to the training grounds to meet his team. He had, once again, left 25 clones to work on chakra control, but this time also focusing on the taijutsu style Kakashi had shown him. He yawned as he lazily waved at his teammates. Yo guys, he said, his hands in his pockets. Sasuke simply nodded at him while Sakura twitched. You sound a bit too much like Kakashi-sensei, Naruto, she said, looking at him and his lazy posture. Do I? Naruto muttered. Who cares? He said, walking over to his tree and laying down against him. Dobe, I got a question for you, Sasuke suddenly said, and Naruto looked at him and raised an eyebrow. Okay? Are you a member of the Uzumaki clan? He asked, his onyx-colored eyes looking at him with curiosity masked with disinterest. Naruto repeated the other boy's words in his head a few times, thinking he misspoke. Then he slowly sat up and focused on Sasuke. There is an Uzumaki clan. Was. Sasuke replied, and Naruto flinched. They were destroyed about 30 years ago after being attacked by Kumo and Kiri at the same time. I think they used to live in a land called Uzushiogakure. They were renowned for their kenjutsu, fuinjutsu, suiton, and red hair. Sasuke finished. This was the most he had ever spoken to any of his teammates. Inside Naruto was a whirlpool of emotions. He had a clan. He actually had a clan. Sure, they were all gone, most likely, but he actually had someone who shared the same name as him. Naruto swallowed thickly. I don't think I've ever heard of the Uzumaki clan before, he said softly. Sasuke looked unemotional as always as he said. The wife of the Shodaime Hokage was Uzumaki Mito. She had hair similar to yours, he said, and Sakura gasped. That's right. I remember that lesson. I was the one who asked for her last name when Mizuki-sensei didn't seem to want to say it, she said, nodding rapidly. Naruto barely held back a scowl at the mention of the man. Naruto said before sighing. You'd think more people would know about this, or at least tell me about it, he said, looking a bit sad and miffed at the same time. He had no illusions that the Hokage knew about this. Heck, almost everyone's heard about this, most likely. No one ever forgets the Shodai's wife's name. That'd be an insult to the founder of the village. Sakura looked at him in sympathy. Hey, look at it this way, at least now you know what your clan was famous for, so you can emulate your ancestors, she said with a smile. Naruto thought about it. It was true. He was already learning kenjutsu. Or starting to learn anyway. Suiton was also no problem. He could learn it, and his taijutsu was dependent on it anyway. Fuinjutsu, well, what's the Hokage there for? Naruto sighed. Thanks, Sakura, he said, and she shook her head. No, Naruto, don't say thanks. In fact, I should apologize for how I always treated you, she said, looking shameful. I'm sorry. I know that I've always put you down and hit you for no reason, and you didn't have to take it, but I really have no excuse for it. I'm sorry, she said, looking down, but refusing to cry. Naruto blinked, before grinning widely and patting her shoulder. Hey, no problem, Sakura. It's all in the past, right? How about we just start over? I won't pester you for dates and you don't hit me. Friends? He asked, extending his hand to her. Sakura looked shocked, before grinning and shaking his hands. Of course, Naruto. Why did you do that anyway? You started asking me out of random 3 years ago, she asked. Naruto blinked. Nothing. I just wanted to hang out, Databao. I wanted to be friends when I saw that your hair looked kinda like mine. Unique, he said, flushing slightly. I thought you were cool. You thought I was cool? she asked, shock coloring her features. You never said you wanted to hang out, you asked for dates, she exclaimed, looking confused. Naruto frowned mildly, before rubbing the back of his neck. Yeah? Is that not what it's called when a boy and girl hang out? He asked, confused. That's what he always thought. Sasuke looked at him, looking a bit surprised and amused, and Sakura looked even more confused. Clearly, that wasn't the answer. Not really. It's just called hanging out. A date is something. Sakura glanced slightly at Sasuke, who ignored her and looked away. Romantic, she finished with a sigh. Naruto blinked. Oh. I mean, I wouldn't mind that either, but that wasn't really what I wanted. Sorry, I never really had a friend other than Shikamaru and Shuji, and they never explained it to me, he said, looking sheepish and embarrassed. Wow, he really made a fool of himself for 3 straight years when he could have had a friend a long time ago. Sakura giggled. Right, it's fine, Naruto, she said clearly. She forgot that Naruto was an orphan. Naruto coughed awkwardly and there was an awkward silence for a while. Naruto decided that he might as well take a nap because there's no way that Ero-sensei would be here on time. He never is. Yo! Kakashi suddenly arrives, waving at them lazily. Naruto could kind of see why Sakura thought he had been acting too much like Kakashi. You're not late? Sakura and Naruto screamed at first before falling quiet before looking at him with an absolutely floored expression on their faces. Sasuke himself looked a bit shocked at Kakashi, who rubbed the back of his head. Ma, I'm not that bad, he said weakly. Yeah, right! Naruto and Sakura yelled and Kakashi's sweat dropped. Right? Anyway, today we're going to ask the Hokage if he could give us a C-rank mission. Hopefully it will go a bit more pleasant this time around than it was before, any? Kakashi said, smiling at them. Naruto's eyes brightened. Really? That's amazing, Ero-sensei! Naruto yelled, and Kakashi waved his hand lazily, though he looked a bit miffed at the nickname. Sakura looked a bit nervous while Sasuke looked excited and even a bit happy. Are you sure, sensei? I mean, our last C-rank was pretty intense, Sakura said, frowning in nervousness and concern. Kakashi nodded, looking serious. I understand your concerns, Sakura, but I believe that a trip outside a village would help out all 3 of you. However, if you don't want to, I can always ask the Hokage permission to let us out of the village for a week or so, he said. I don't want you to feel pressured, he added in the end, noting the expressions on each of their faces. Sasuke was looking at Sakura intensely as if daring her to say no. Naruto looked torn. Clearly, the redhead wanted to go on a mission but was clearly concerned for his teammate who was unsure of herself. Naruto patted Sakura on the shoulder. It's okay, Sakura-chan. I don't want this mission to go like the last one either, but not all missions are the same, right? That was just our luck. Or bad luck, maybe, Naruto said, smiling brightly at her. Sakura still looked indecisive. I suppose we can go on a crank, she said, relenting. Sasuke smirked slightly and Naruto grinned. Kakashi nodded. Very well, let's go. The trip to the Hokage Tower was a silent one. Kakashi had his nose buried in his book, giggling at times while Sasuke looked excited, but as usual, did nothing to contribute or start a conversation. Sakura looked apprehensive, and it seemed like she wanted to say something, but didn't in the end. Naruto was nearly jumping in excitement. Another C-rank. Despite the luck, good or bad, depending on who you asked, in their last mission, it was pretty scary. Even Naruto would admit that the enemies were way out of his league in the last mission. Maybe this time around, he could see what an actual C-rank mission would be like. They arrived at the Hokage Tower, and Naruto barged in. Yo, old man! Naruto said, waving cheerfully. The Sandaime smiled at the boy amusedly. Hello, Naruto-kun, Sasuke-kun, Sakura-chan. Kakashi-kun, I assume you want another mission? He asked, putting his pipe down. Kakashi put his book away and looked at the Hokage. Yes, Hokage-sama, but this time, I was hoping that you would give us a C-rank, he said, looking at the old man seriously. The Hokage tilted his head while the assistant next to him sputtered. A C-rank? Are you serious? You four barely survived your last one, the woman said incredulously. Hey, we kicked ass! Naruto shouted defensively and Sasuke grunted in agreement. Probably. No, you did not, the Hokage said firmly, and the two boys' eyes widened at the stern tone in the old man's voice. You definitely did not kick ass in your previous mission. In fact, it was you three who were in actual danger. Kakashi is capable of handling a nuke Nin of Zabuza's caliber, but you are definitely not. Understand this, Naruto-kun, Sasuke-kun, a good shinobi is not the one who is stubborn and proud, it's the one who recognizes their limits and admits their weakness. If you don't understand that, then you will get yourself, and maybe even your teammates killed someday, he said firmly. Naruto flinched and Sasuke looked down, probably in shame. Naruto was ashamed, but what else could he do? His guts and determination were all he had, Databeo. Yes, maybe if he had thought it out a little bit more, he could have helped Sasuke defeat Haku even easier, and he wouldn't have had to resort to the Kyuubi's chakra, but still. There was an awkward silence as the Hokage stared down the two young shinobi and Kunoichi. I will give you an easy delivery mission. I hope you two will reflect on this, Naruto-kun, Sasuke-kun, he said before taking out a scroll and tossing it at Kakashi, who caught it easily. Deliver that scroll to one Yukimura Kimiko in Tanzaku-gai. I have checked extensively, and there is no trouble to be expected in this particular mission, he said. Kakashi looked over the contents of the scroll and nodded lazily. As you say, Hokage-sama, he said, and there was mumbled words spoken by his three students as they went out. Naruto was deep in thought as he considered the Hokage's words. The old man might be, well, old, but he was smart and wise. Naruto knew this, and he knew it well. He might not be the smartest kunai in the pouch, but he knew enough that you don't get to be a near 70-year-old shinobi without being strong and wise. Naruto frowned as he remembered the old man's words, you will get yourself, and maybe even your teammates killed someday. It was true. His rash and cocky attitude nearly got Sasuke killed by Haku. Sure, the Uchiha survived, but it was only because Haku was kind. If Haku wasn't kind, then Sasuke would be dead, and it would have been Naruto's fault. He grimaced at the very thought. Sasuke, Sakura, Kakashi-sensei, they might get themselves killed because of me, he thought. Naruto had never give up written into his very heart, and he wasn't going to change that, but being cocky, rash and stubborn is not the shinobi way. He thought of Kakashi-sensei. Strong, smart, and calm. He didn't give up on anyone, even though his opponent was clearly strong. Naruto wanted to be like that. Grab your gear and get to the village gate within the hour, Kakashi ordered, and the three nodded and headed off to their respective homes. When Naruto reached his apartment, he quickly packed a few cups of ramen, tons of kunai, shuriken, and a change of clothes. It was simply a double-layered black and orange long-sleeved t-shirt and black shinobi pants. Yosh! I'm going to be the best ninja I can be, Databeo. I may not like Sasuke team, but I will protect all of my precious people. Just watch Haku. I'll be the shinobi you would be proud of, Naruto said, looking up with fire in his eyes. A thump sounded on one of the walls. Shut up, Naruto. Some of us like the quiet. Go find some other place, Databeo, Naruto yelled back. I live here, you baka. Naruto huffed and strapped on his backpack and got out of his home. He quickly made his way over to the village gate and found Sasuke and Sakura already waiting there for Kakashi and himself. Soon, Kakashi arrived and they all made their way out of the village. Naruto felt excited once again, just as he was when he left the village for the first time. He was nearly bouncing in excitement, and Kakashi ruffled his hair. Ma, Naruto, it's only a short trip, he said amusedly. Naruto grinned brightly at the man. Yeah, but this is only the second time out of the village, Ero-sensei. I'm excited, he said. Dope. What was that, team? The mission was pretty simple. Reach Tanzaku-gai and drop off the scroll to some chick and get back and get paid. Naruto was actively trying not to yell, trying to control his temper. His attempt was clearly noticed by everyone on his team. Sakura teased him about being a grandpa's boy and Sasuke tried to mock him. Unfortunately, it worked most of the time. The only times it didn't was when Naruto was ignoring him. And ignoring people, to Naruto, felt as if he was turning into Sasuke himself. At the end of the first night, they made camp. Kakashi took the first shift, and Naruto was next, followed by Sasuke, then Sakura. Naruto, however, couldn't sleep, so he sat opposite Kakashi around the fire. Kakashi giggled at times while reading his book, while Naruto looked increasingly annoyed by the man's consistent giggling. Finally, Naruto snapped. "Damn it, Ero-sensei, what's so fun in that book anyway?" he asked, looking at the little orange book in the man's hand. Kakashi looked all too happy that Naruto asked. It's something you need to read for yourself to enjoy," he said before pulling out another book from his pouch and tossed it at the redhead, who caught it. Rolling his eyes, Naruto then asked. "Okay, I got another question for you," Naruto asked. How do I calm down? Like, how do I control my temper? How do you do it?" he asked in rapid succession. Kakashi fully put his book down and looked at the redhead with a visibly raised eyebrow. "Is this about what Hokage-sama said?" he asked, and Naruto chuckled nervously, rubbing the back of his neck. "Yeah. I mean, the old man is the one I respect the most in the world, Databeo. I want to be a shinobi he could be proud of," he said, looking very serious. Kakashi assessed Naruto for a few seconds before nodding. "Fair enough, I suppose," Kakashi said, and put on a thinking pose. "Well, to control your temper, there isn't always a way to do so. Sometimes you cannot help the situation you are in and it makes you angry. Sometimes your anger is justified and it is probably a good idea to express it. And to tell you the truth, it is alright to be angry. What is important, however, is to not let the anger get the better of you. It is always important to think before you speak and act, but as I said, the situation might call for a quick decision, and in those times, you cannot afford to think," Kakashi said in a lecturing tone, and Naruto was looking at him with wide eyes. "Damn, I had no idea it was that complex," Naruto said, and Kakashi nodded. "Let me give you an example. I am a jonin and I will sometimes be chosen to lead squads, much like yours. Remember when we first fought Zabuza?" At Naruto's nod, Kakashi continued. "When I fought Zabuza, I was confident that I would be fast enough to stop him if he came for you three and Tazuna. I had the foresight to observe his battling style and make quick, yet calculated decisions. Imagine if I didn't have that foresight. If I simply charged in without thinking, then Zabuza would have simply distracted me with his clone and used a Suiton jutsu to kill the three of you.